This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Edit audio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Hopkins, and this is Well Adjusting, where I talk to people about life stuff, but not in an NPR way. It's more like we're at the bar, having cocktails, getting into your business sort of way.
It's giving drunk NPR.
Oh, and producer Steph is here too.
Hello.
Today we chat, living life after losing a child. Hi, everybody. Okay, it's Robin, and I have to just tell you, I'm so glad that you're here for another episode of Well Adjusting. Now, I think today, I'm even more appreciative that you're all here because we're talking about the just sometimes fleetingness of life and the importance of just being present for however long we are here for. So this is me thanking you for being here. I appreciate you. But full disclosure, I am also glad that you're here because I want you to hear David's story. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a hard one. David's son died in a tragic accident about 4 years ago. And since then, David's been carrying on his son Jack's legacy of love. So Jack had a business that was called Happy Jack, and it was a mental health awareness company. And now David, alongside Jack's mom, is continuing Happy Jack. And they have done just so much good work continuing this company and spreading awareness about mental illness. And so David is here today, and he's talking about how to fully live and be connected when all you wish is that you could share the work that you're doing with the person who is gone. Now, it is a heavy topic, but David is such an open and inspirational person. And there is something that's so powerful in hearing his pursuit, to take something horrible and find the love in it. So I just think this is a really important conversation. And all I'm going to say is take a listen.
Hi, I'm David Nathan. I am a music executive and mental health advocate.
Welcome, David. All right. So you're going to put in your own words why you reached out and why you wanted to be on Well Adjusting, like a little bit of what we wanted to kind of break apart today.
Well, look, I've had a long career in the music industry. I've worked with, some of the biggest artists in the world and, helped their careers and launched a few along the way. And about 4 years ago, I experienced something that no person on this earth should ever experience, which is the loss of a child. And very quickly in my life, kind of pivoted from this high energy music executive to somebody who has lost a child and had to deal with that. And you and I have been friends for a long time, and I've been so appreciative of your friendship just along the way, but in general, watching you and what you do as a host and what your topics of discussion are. And I just felt like this was a great place to talk.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. I'm so glad you reached out because it's just like I'm of the opinion of anytime we can talk about the hard things, especially shame and sadness and all that lives in the dark. So it's like anytime we can bring light to it. So And I also want to say for our listeners who might be new and who maybe or haven't listened to some of the deeper episodes, like we're going to get into what happened to your son, but we're
Okay.
never going to come at this from a point of view of trying to it's like we're not into grief porn. That's we're here to bring out what needs to be brought
Me
out.
either.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to bring out what needs to be brought out, and then we're just going to talk about like where you are today and what you're
Cool.
living with. So, but it just can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, my son Jack was 19 years old, 6'3", like good-looking kid, played sports, was the glue essentially that really kept his friends together, and was a very strong believer in mental health. Went to college, had a great college experience, created a clothing company called Happy Jack, and this business was created to be the community for the misunderstood, if you will. That's what Jack wanted to create. So he launched the company out of his dorm room at University of Denver.
By the way, nothing is more your son than having a son who's doing that, because you're such a hustler.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was selling rocks to construction workers when he was like 5. So he came home during COVID, came home in March of 2020, locked himself in his mom's basement and really kind of put this idea together of what he wanted to do. He came upstairs. He said, I got it. I want Happy Jack, because that's what we called him when he was a baby. He smiled everywhere and to everybody. So he named it Happy Jack, and he did everything on his own, by the way. So he didn't want any connections. He was like, Dad, I want to do this all on my own. If I fuck up, I want to fuck up on my own. I want to learn. I want to, the only way you're going to get better is by messing up, making mistakes, and taking those mistakes and making them into something, more powerful. And when your son or daughter says that to you, you're like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but I can help you. They're like, no, I don't want your help. So he found.
But also as a parent, I'd be like, damn, I'm doing good.
Oh yeah. Mentally in the back of my head, I was 100% saying that, but.
Yeah.
He found his printers. He found his postcard people. He did a deal with the shipping company. He did everything, and he found a foundation called Child Mind Institute, which focuses on kids who suffer from any type of mental health issue. And he said he was going to donate, the first money that he made to them. His whole philosophy was make money and give it away. Like literally, that's how he believed in how he could make a difference. And I was always like, Jen, that's not such a great business model, but we'll figure that out as we go. And he's like, Dad, the money's
25%. You got to keep 25%.
Yeah. I was like 10%, like keep something. And so long story short, he launched the company in June of 2020. He sold out overnight, which we actually have a video of him like talking to himself in like to Instagram or TikTok or something. And he donated $1,000 to Child Mind Institute right out of the gate. He wrote them a check. And so a month later, he was celebrating whoever it was, his 21st birthday down in the southern part of New Jersey. He was celebrating. He was in the best place he's ever been, mentally, physically, emotionally. He was really doing well. Went to somebody's party late at night. He communicated with Brady at around 11:30, 12.
Brady's your ex-wife?
Brady's my ex-wife, yeah. Sorry. Jack's mom. And communicated with her, said he just wasn't in a good place to drive. Meaning he was, he was drinking and like had some fun, but he was never a really big drinker. He smoked weed all the time and every day and was like functionally, okay. And that's the last you heard of him. He apparently took late at night what he thought was a Percocet, and it was laced with fentanyl. And so he went to sleep and never woke up. So I lost Jack on July 3rd, technically. It was the night of the 2nd, but it went into the 3rd, and they found him in the morning. And, that was that.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, and I don't expect anyone to understand this unless you've gone through something like this, but when that happens, you hit a wall, like you're in your life, right? You're going straight and everything's great. And then, you hit that fork in the road and you got two options as a parent or as a sister or a brother or whoever it is. Like, and one option is to follow them into the ground, and the others to figure out how to get through it and how to move on and sort of make a legacy and really put together the game plan for the future. And I was very lucky that I didn't go to the left. I went to the right. That's not a political joke. That's, I went, and Brady and I took over the company, and we've done an incredible job at building the brand, creating, this community for the misunderstood. And we've donated over $250,000 now to different foundations and charities.
It's incredible.
We've done collaborations with Kenneth Cole and Adidas and Selena Gomez and Lady Gaga, and like we have a bunch more that are starting to circle around us.
Yeah.
So we're really, I guess it's like an oxymoron to use the word happy, but we're really happy to know where we are. I think this company can really grow into something enormous and compete with the Supremes and compete with the Mad Happies and these bigger companies. So
we often do, like with our guests, we do like a call ahead of time just to kind of like find out what we're going to talk about. And one of the things that you said that even just stayed with me since that call was you said like when the person is gone, I just miss them. And I wonder if you could say some more about that.
Yeah, every day I miss him, every minute, every moment, every second. I'm thinking about him regardless of how I'm acting, if I'm in a meeting presenting or I'm with an artist and we're, or I'm at a bar or I'm at a club or I'm at a restaurant, I'm laughing. And it doesn't mean that I don't miss him here.
Yeah.
It just means that I'm learning how to deal with it. And I have a very unique situation because I don't know if you know this, but my second wife, who I'm married to now, she lost her daughter when she was 5.
I
didn't know her. She was in our town and I had known about it, but I didn't know her. And we just randomly met one night and started dating. And she actually got to meet Jack and really spent some time with him before he passed, which I'm so thankful and appreciative for. But unlike other people that this happens to, and I'm not proud of this, but it is what it is. I kind of had a teacher. Allie was able to kind of guide and walk me through, okay, here's what's going to happen. So I always miss him and I always think about him. And there's reminders every day. I mean, I have his necklace and I wear his ring and, I see comments and people talk to me every day and I tell the story a lot. So it's just constant reminders of how amazing he was. And, I never used to believe that things happen for a reason. Never. I never did. And for whatever reason, now I do. And now I believe that maybe there was a reason that Jack was here for 19 years. And he did more in 19 years than some people do in 16, 70.
Yeah, for sure.
And his message and his mission and his personality and his caringness and lovingness, transferred to a lot of different people. And I see that every day.
Hi, friends. If you listen to this show, then you know it is never a bad thing to ask for help. And sometimes we might even need help on a cellular level. I mean, who would have thought? And that's where our friends over at Timeline come in. Timeline is a Swiss life science company that has spent 10 years doing research to bring their product MitoPure to the market. 10 years, folks, that's a commitment. Now, on this show, we often talk about what happens over the long term, and unfortunately, aging is a part of that process. So are you ready for a quick science lesson? Okay, great. Mitochondria are our cells' power generators, okay? They're a key influence in how we age. And as we get older, mitochondrial efficiency, it naturally declines. And that's where MitoPure comes in. MitoPure is clinically shown to give our cellular energy generators new power by triggering the body's natural process for removing and rebuilding damaged mitochondria. You can think of MitoPure as like little Pac-Men in your cells just chomping up the damaged mitochondria that make you feel tired, and they're going to recycle it into new healthy ones. Now, you can take MitoPure in 2 ways. Talking soft gels for when you're on the go and you want something super convenient, or they have a berry powder mix, which can be incorporated into breakfast. Maybe, your daily yogurt, your smoothie, or if you're me, a Coke Zero. So taking 2 MitoPure soft gels a day for only 2 months, it can help you feel big improvements in your cellular energy, muscle strength, and endurance. After 4 months, you'll feel yourself getting stronger and experiencing less inflammation and recovering faster after workouts. I mean, who would not want that? So Timeline has a special offer for you, my amazing listeners. Timeline is offering 10% off your first order of MitoPure. You're going to go to timeline.com/RobHop. That's TIMELINE.com/RobHop. Go get it, folks.
T-Mobile 5G internet keeps getting better. Boost your connection to harder to reach places with Home Internet Plus and get internet right where you want it.
With Wi-Fi that reaches the attic, I finally have a home office.
Get a free upgrade to T-Mobile Home Internet Plus while supplies last. Home Internet Plus starts at $50 a month with autopay and any voice line. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
During congestion, customers on this plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using greater than 1.2 terabytes per month due to data prioritization. After $20 bill credit plus $5 per month without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
So how do you stay close to the business, and just how do you go through the day-to-day staying close to the business and being so ensconced in his life and him? Is that a feel good, or does that cut both ways?
That feels great. 90% of the time it feels great. 10% of the time, Brady posts a lot more than I do on TikTok about fentanyl and about how we lost Jack and all that stuff. I try and stay on the positive side of things. I'm a positive person and I smile and laugh a lot. And but there's definitely that time where I go into deep mode. I think my problem was because of my personality and who I am. If I go into those sad, depressed moments, people are really worried about me. And I'm like, I'm
because
fine.
It's not who you are normally. Yeah.
Correct. I don't think even to this day, when I really look at it, like I've ever really had that full opportunity to grieve Jack.
Yeah.
I really don't. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be for me. I don't know. But, so I started a whole entertainment company that's Happy Jack Entertainment. Which is incredible and I think is going to carry on Jack's legacy in a completely different way. And then, obviously we have Happy Jack, which is doing well. And then, I have my other stuff. I manage, I consult, and, I do a bunch of this. So I'm on 2 boards and so I try to keep myself busy also. Yeah. Which I think allows me the time to not have to sit and
yeah. Well, I want to ask you about that, David, because I do know you, and you're like, I feel like anyone who's listened to even 4 seconds of this knows you have 47 businesses. You're upbeat. You're a hustler. You're gonna
all
go
of which
after
you're
stuff.
making no money, by the way.
By the way, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
But it's like, so you're like hustle. But I wonder if and you kind of alluded to that. You're like, if I start to go into this at all, people are like, hey, I'm worried about you. And so I think I wonder if my question is like, do you stop yourself from doing it because you don't want, because you're the kind of guy who's just like, come on, man, I got you. Come with me. And so it's like, you don't want to let anybody down, but like, you might need to be like, I actually need to be sad right now. And you don't have to worry about me, but cause it's like, I would worry for you to take on that much that you got to be together so much.
Yeah. I thrive on pressure and deadlines, and I always have. But I think you're right. Like, I feel like, everybody needs that time to decompress, to like take a breath and go do something. I was having this conversation with my wife last night, and I'm like, even though we're in the situation we're in, we still need to be able to like enjoy our lives. And I feel like I should have my own time to not think about Jack, to not think about my daughter Drew, and just to kind of decompress. And to me, it's like playing sports. Like when I go out and I play, I play basketball, I play softball, I play pickleball now, and I work out. And to me, those are my times when I'm quiet. And I or not quiet, but I'm able to just
turn off the David Nathan of it all.
Yeah. Even for a little bit, but you have to, or else you're going to implode.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's like, I mean, if it's like you could turn around and you could be like 10 years from now and you're falling apart, and it's, it's like, I don't, they always say in 12 steps, like the thing that happened here, that's not the thing. It started happening like long before, like when someone falls off the wagon, it's like, it didn't happen on this Tuesday. Probably happened 10 years ago when you stopped doing things that were taking care of yourself. So I'm glad to hear that you're addressing that. Cause I'd hate to have you like, just turn around and be like, I can't fucking do it anymore, everybody. Like,
oh, trust me though, that thought I get at least like 2 or 3 times a week, where I definitely get to that boiling point where I'm like, does anybody fucking care about me? What about me? And then I don't know, I get through it. Like, it's just, someone always used to say to me, like, power through it. How do you get off a red eye, go to work, go out that night, then, don't sleep again, and do it all again. And you've slept like 3 hours in 3 days, and you're like, you power through it. You find a way to do it. And I'm not saying it's healthy, because it's 100% not.
I was going to say, David.
Yeah. But I definitely get to those moments. There's definitely times when I explode.
You think you could, or would you, and what would it be open to like putting more of those things in place so that you do feel taken care of, even if it's by you? Because I do think you take care of a lot of other people. But maybe softball and pickleball aren't enough to just take care of you.
Yeah. No, I yes. That is in the future. I just don't know how far along, because
you're going to project manage your health.
Yeah. I mean, I do go to my therapist, but I have a very awesome and cool therapist, because we don't do a Zoom. We don't sit in an office. We walk.
Oh, I love that.
You got to go to therapy. I believe in it. Or at least having that conversation but you have to let things out. If you do it to your wife or your husband or your partner or your child, it's going to be a problem. You can't do it all the time. You got to, because I'm just that person. I don't like to burden anybody with my problems. So for me, I keep a lot in, and that's when I get quiet sometimes. And that's when people are like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? Who are you mad at? I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm just
taking a minute.
I need a break.
What's interesting is, like, I always think of, like, those like people who talk like this, and they're always afraid they're yelling. And I'm always like, even if you went in your head and tried to yell, it'd probably just sound like me on an average day, like maybe me whispering even. So it's like, I feel like the idea of you letting a little out, like your version of burdening someone, would be like, no one would even notice you asked for a thing like that.
Probably, because that's me. You're probably 100% right.
I think what's, I mean,
hi, Steph.
Hi. I am like,
we love when producer Steph jumps in, because she's always,
I love it.
She pops in, drops some like giant nugget of wisdom, and then goes back to quiet.
Well, I have so many things to say. First of all, like, I'm so sorry. And yes, no one should have to go through like what you're going through. I also think the way you are like existing in the world is very relatable to probably Robin and I. Like, I am like constantly just like doing shit, and like I got diagnosed with like PTSD, and I was like, okay, cool. And I never took like a moment to like think about like what that means. I was just like, great. I ordered like 6 books. I like signed up for this like group therapy.
A creative foundation.
Yeah, like I started like doing all the shit, and I'm like, let's go. Like I'm gonna figure this out, and I will, and I know I will, but like, I think there's something like when it gets to the point of like, why the fuck, like, does no one give a shit about me? I don't know if this isn't for you, but whenever I feel like that with like my friends or my partner or whatever, it's because I haven't actually like allowed them to witness what's going on with me. So I'm like holding everything in and it's like coming up, and I'm like dropping subtle hints and hoping.
Which, by the way, no one's picking up on.
No one's picking up on.
No one.
Right.
And I'll like sandwich it. Someone will be like, how's your day? And I'll be like, oh, it was like really great. You know, I went to this conference, some like drop like the most atrocious, like horrible thing that happened. And then I'll like sandwiches. And then I had a great pizza. And I'll hope that they like come back to the like middle thing. Like no one's doing that because I'm sandwiching it and I'm like moving on. So I guess for my question is, are you doing that?
Are you sandwiching, David?
I sandwich a lot. Yeah.
We just created. I feel like we're gonna need
I like that
t-shirts.
term. Yes, I'm going to write that down.
But like,
That's
are
funny.
you doing that? And do you feel like you're letting people in? Or are you not at that point yet? Like, are you protecting yourself?
Well, no, I do not protect myself at all. I let people into everything I do. And on the reverse of that, Steph, is like, that may be the problem, right? Is because I've always been that person who has worn my emotions on my sleeve and talked to people, and probably I have told people too much. Like, I don't know if that's just my mom and me or what it is, but you know, I try to sandwich things, I guess. I just wrote it down because I want to talk to my therapist about that. I'm going to bring that to her and I'm going to say, like, do you think that I do things to bookend my issue and it takes away from everything because that's just in here and everything, that's all noise.
Yeah. Well, you don't know Steph, but I know her very well. And we're kind of all very similar in this regard.
Yeah.
Like every one of us is going to start a foundation if we go through something like this. Yeah. Every one of us. And we're all going to like,
so
yeah, exactly. Of course you do. And we're all going to be like running through it. And what I'm thinking about, like from my point of view, is because I don't want to just put you on the seat about this, but I think it's something we could all talk about is like, what would it look like if we didn't sandwich? I mean, like, is there a world where any of us could say to another person, like, hey, I just have to say this out loud. I'm actually struggling today. I'm feeling a lot of feelings, and I don't even know what I need. I don't know if I need you to say something to me or if I need to be quiet, but I'm just saying that out loud. Yeah. And I'm just wondering what it would be like if we did that.
Well, unfortunately, I think that that'll never, ever happen. Just because of human nature. Yeah. Right? I think it's like uncomfortable. One of the first things that my therapist ever said to me is you need to learn how to be comfortable with uncomfortable. And a lot of people say that, we say a lot. Jack used to say it's okay to not be okay. Like, people aren't equipped. A lot of people, and some are, but I think the majority of people are not equipped to handle that kind of communication. It's uncomfortable and people don't like uncomfortability. They just don't. Like, it's human nature. So I wish that could be the case.
But I don't want you to go to the grocer and do it. But you could go up to a
about
person.
Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother.
No, not even that. Someone who is more equipped. I'd have that conversation with Steph. There's other friends I would not have that conversation with.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why I said grocer like it was 1920.
Me neither. Yeah, you laughed at it.
You go to the grocery store? There's two ways to look at this. I wish that you could do that all the time. It would make life a lot better if people just really understood the reality of human beings. Yeah. Right. And hey, I'm not having a good day. Like, leave me alone. Let me go lay in my bed. I had people that were telling me, even today, I met someone the other day that said to me, man, if that ever happened to me and my family, I wouldn't get out of bed for 6 months. And I was like, okay, if that's the way you would grieve.
Like, I don't know what to do with that information, but thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. And, I just think that people today with social media and with phones and jobs and friends and politics and all the crap that's going on around you, right? It's really hard to do that. And I think if people, to your point, took a second, took a breath and said, hey, right now I'm not doing so well. Give me an hour. Like, I'll get back to you, even an hour. Give me 45 minutes. Give me the day. I think if we started to educate that way, that people would start to respect it.
Yeah.
And be able to help you. I just don't, unfortunately, I have no faith, which I hate to say because I don't ever want to say that.
Yeah.
But I have no faith in it.
I sometimes think like maybe I can't fix it, but I can help my kids fix it in that next generation. You know, like my son, like, you know, he's a lot like me, and we get into it, and he will, like, he now has the ability to go like, I'm just having a bad day, and can we just not right now? And I'm like, okay. You know, because it's like I didn't have that. So for me to do it, it's so uncomfortable.
With Credit Karma, finding the right credit card for you is easy. Our app analyzes user profiles to suggest personalized recommendations. Visit creditkarma.com today to explore cards tailored to your needs. Credit Karma, simplifying your financial choices.
I just think, I mean, I keep like going back to this one thing that you said, like closer to the beginning, that was like, if I get into like a sad or quiet or depressed state, you know, other people start to worry about me. And you've brought it up a few times, but I guess I'm like fixating on it because again, I'm like relating this to myself, and I'm like, I'm a doer, and you know, I don't really let people see that I'm upset. But I don't think about it like that. I don't think about, okay, it's because I'm worried that other people will worry about me or like how they'll perceive me. It's like more of for myself. Like, I'm not letting you in. I need to like, I can't.
You put a block
I
up.
can't feel that.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the time or the space or the emotional energy to deal with that. So I'm just like, and I put up the wall. And so I guess I just want like clarity on that from you. Like, is it the fear of everyone else seeing that, or is it both, like the internal, like dealing with it internally and then also the outside?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I don't think it's the fear, because I have grown into a place where I really don't care what people say or do anymore. Like that. My skin is, you know, I mean, am I upset when someone doesn't like me, or someone, you know, I hear someone makes a comment? Yeah, I mean, of course I am. But my biggest thing is I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
So I put up, you know, I'll put a smile on, I'll put a brave face on, and I'll go do what I have to do. And then I'll keep all this in here, which is the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah.
Because then your stomach, like physically, your stomach starts to bother you. Your head, you get a headache,
Low
you
back
get
pain.
tired, you get angry, you get low, whatever it is. So it's actually taking a physical effect on you, or having a physical effect on you. But I think it's like, I just do it. I just get, you know, and then it's like 10, 20, half hour, an hour. And I'm like, okay, this is dumb. Does that answer your question?
No,
or
yeah.
no? Like,
I mean, I'm just like really genuinely curious, because I feel like I'm having like a light bulb moment that I will like tie back in later. But Robin, for you, is it that?
Mine is probably a little more like shame me based. Like, I don't want anyone to see me not together. Like, I don't like it myself, and I don't want anybody to see that. Like, there's an embarrassment factor. There's like when I first started therapy, like saying things out loud was incredibly difficult. It was just like incredibly difficult. But I do want to ask this for the group, which is like, are you making decisions on a premise that's faulty? So like the other day, somebody offered me, the guy like works at Birkenstock, and he's like, I can get you a discount. And like, he offered it to me. I didn't ask. And then lo and behold, 2 days later, my son came home and wants everybody's wearing the Birkenstock mules now.
Yeah, I know.
And so he was like, oh, I really want a pair of those. And I was like, I feel kind of bad asking him. And a friend of mine said, you know, there's all kinds of research that people actually like to do small things for people. And like, by allowing him to do that for you, you're helping him too, and while he helps you. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So I went back and I asked, and he was like, of course. Like, so he's helping me get the mules. So at 40% off. Thank you, bad.
Hey,
but anyway, my point is, is it possible that your premise is off, that you don't actually disappoint anyone, that people see you and maybe they then can offer you love and support. And whereas outside, they may be feeling your sadness or your whatever you're in that moment and feel like they can't help. Like, they could feel something's off, but feel like they can't help it. So I'm just wondering if that's something to consider.
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm worried that people are going to think differently of me.
Yeah.
If I break down. It's very interesting though. Like, if I'm in a situation where I cry, I think people understand, that I've gone through all this shit, but I also am very sensitive. So, and then I get that from my mother, which is like, I do cry at a lot of things and I get teary eyed and I get emotional. But I'm trying to do a much better job at letting people see my emotions and letting people understand, that I'm not this rock all the time and that I am, a human being. I am a parent, I am a husband, and I have responsibilities but I also am all of those things that needs help.
Yeah.
And if you have the ability to ask and can gather the strength to do it, you're going to be a much better off person.
Yeah. I would ask you, what would you say either to like younger David Nathan or somebody else who is unfortunately in like a horrible situation of losing someone close to them?
I would say take time. Like there's some saying about like, you're in the present, the past is the past, but the future is still unwritten. Like I have no idea what's going to happen at 11 o'clock today. Right. No idea. Yeah. I mean, I think I do because I got to be on a call, but like, I don't know, but something could happen. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So my advice would be like, live every moment you can. Don't sit and go back and go, oh my God, why didn't I go on that vacation? Why didn't I, ask that boy out, that girl out, that, whatever, like, why didn't I take that job? Why did I, because now I'm miserable. Like maybe you're not miserable, but your life would have changed. It's a sliding door prophecy, right? Like,
yeah.
So I would just say to somebody in that respect, just live your life, like appreciate it because you only got one life.
Yeah.
Appreciate where you've been and appreciate where you are and appreciate where you can go.
Amazing.
I feel like there's like a common thread in this, that, when we ask you a question about something, you do like the global we or the global you statements. Like, could you invite someone in to hear something hard about yourself? You'll say, yeah, and it's true. Like when you do that, it allows people to see you, and you're gonna feel more blah blah blah. I think a small step that we could all probably take towards like letting people in more is making those like you and global statements, I statements. Like if I could let people in, or when I let people in, I can blah, blah, blah.
That's really good advice.
And what's interesting is when Robin asked this question about what advice you give to your past self, it was very easy for you to come up with because that like person exists in the world and it is like a you statement, right? It's like the advice I would give to other people would be this because that's good advice, but like what's stopping you from taking that advice now?
I don't know. It's a very, very good question. I'm not paying you for this therapy session, Steph, so don't.
Next time we're going to do this on a walk.
Oh,
now that I know that's an option.
No, that's actually a very interesting and valid point. And I think that I think I've just been brainwashed in a sense, not in a bad way, but brainwashed in a sense of always incorporating we as opposed to I.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try harder to do that because that's a
You've
really
even made it part of your business.
Point.
Like your business is repping other people, speaking on other people's behalf. It's like something you're so comfortable with that it would be that adjustment will take a minute.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when in some circumstances, when you're having a conversation and they say, I want to do this. And I'm like, no, it's we. We're in this together. Like we're a team, we're a business, we're a company, we're partners. But in this respect, it should be I, because I need to take care of me. Because if I can't take care of me, it doesn't matter what else I do. Because it's all going to be, blurry. It's not going to work.
I also have no fear in my mind that the we in your life is ever going to fall apart. Like you're obviously a person who collects community and like is giving back and like also like you're not spending enough time in the we space,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and like you take a problem head on, and you just are like, okay, this is the situation. Like you're the kind of guy I want in a foxhole situation, because you're going to be like, here's where we are. There's 2 tanks coming at us. You're going left, we're going right, and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to do what David Nathan tells me to do in a foxhole.
Yeah.
But
I do that well. I crisis manage really well.
Yeah. So maybe some less crisis managing of David Nathan and some more just and relaxation. And, but I can't let you leave without just saying what I am so impressed with, how you've taken something that's horrific. I mean, that is just undeniably horrific. And you have turned it into something that is giving back to so many people. And I just, I applaud you. And all I want for you is the most peace that you can have because of what you've gone through and because of all the people you're helping.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. Brady has a tattoo on her foot that says "one day at a time." And that's, if you try and lump a week into something, think about all the beautiful things you're going to miss because you're not paying attention because you're looking at the overall.
Yeah.
And Jack was a beautiful person. He's a beautiful soul. And, he lives in my daughter. He lives in me. He lives in, my parents, his grandparents, and his cousins and aunts and uncles. And I see that. And I have conversation about that. And I know he's watching. I know he's appreciative of everything. And I think this is what I'm doing now, I think is exactly what he would be doing. And I'm trying to keep his friends connected. I'm trying to keep the business running. And I'm trying to do some really amazing things in his name.
Will you just tell people about the company so that they can check it out and be a part of it in any way?
Yeah. So we talked about Happy Jack, which is Jack's company, Happy Jack's World, which is the clothing and mental health company. I then, a year ago, we launched a company called Happy Jack Entertainment. It's a different partner, a young kid who I actually knew Jack and was very interested in doing this. So we have created Happy Jack Entertainment, which is the first ever mental health, entertainment, and media network. So we are essentially, think about Barstool Sports. We're building the Barstool of mental wellness. So we are working with creators and influencers to create short form programming around some type of wellness, wherever they come from, whether it's food, dating, travel, sex, work, anything you could think of that falls into a wellness bucket. And we're going to build something that's, pretty powerful. And, when I look at Barstool and I look at their 70 programs and the company's worth $800 million, I could
do that.
Yeah, I can only imagine what, if we build this the right way and it's actually really, really helping people and having an effect on people. It's not even about the money. It's about the soul and about the brain and about the heart and about the wealth that you can gather from educating. So that's Happy Jack Entertainment.
Thank you so much, David. I thank you for reaching out. Thank you for being willing to share your story with so many people. Anytime. It's just, you're inspirational, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Wow. So that was a very powerful conversation with David. It just reminds me of how there's so many things in life that we go through, right? And sometimes we're just in them. Like there's nothing to be done about it. But I think that this is a really important reminder that we all need to practice self-care in these moments, right? And for those of us who are supporting others in the midst of something so big, so hard, so sad, I think it's a nice reminder to remember that even the folks that look like they got it all together sometimes really need that space and that support. So to all of us out here, let's go out, let's love each other, let's hug each other, and let's do all that we can in the time that we got, because there ain't no other way to go about it. So, all right, I'm starting with this. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Now that's it for today. But before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to David Nathan for sharing his story with us today. And you all go out there and learn more about Happy Jack. Happy Jack Entertainment, which is a wellness entertainment hub. It can be found on YouTube at It's Happy Jack. And you can check out Happy Jack, the mental health awareness hub, at happyjacksworld.com. For more Robin, and you may need that, you probably don't need it, but if you do, you can follow me at Real Rob Hops on all the platforms, all the socials, as the kids today say. Well Adjusting is an Edit Audio original series. It's exec produced by Steph Colburn and Robin Hopkins. Our producer and editor is Maria Passingham, and our production manager is Kathleen Speckert. Thank you to the entire Edit Audio team and to you for listening. Oh, hey, before you take out those AirPods, this show is just for entertainment. If you are in need of help, please, please, please reach out to a professional. Go ahead and get that help. You deserve it.